Welcome to Theobald's Farmhouse garden, a 2-acre organic haven designed and nurtured by Alison Green. Alison has transformed this space over 25 years with year-round interest and organic principles at its core. Today, Alison will be showing me around some of the key areas, and I might even get to do some gardening too. Alison, this garden is absolutely beautiful. But what was it like when you arrived?
Well, I always say to visitors that the grass came right up to the house. The bottom where the water gardens are, we had a sort of derelict pond, old drainage ditch actually, and a very dilapidated woodland with a lot of dead elm in it. So, you know, I started with a blank canvas, which was fantastic.
And what was the inspiration? Because, you know, a lot of people would just see that and think, oh my gosh, this is too much. But you obviously had a lot of inspiration.
So I started off with the sort of concept of the arts and crafts movement and creating small gardens, which we have 4 small gardens around the house, and used yew hedging, which of course is indigenous to the UK and is fantastic for nesting birds and wildlife, and use that to create garden rooms.
Now, where we're standing at the front of the house, 2 beautiful examples of a knot garden, essentially. Was that something that you put in?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the knots are completely designed to reflect the period of the house. And although actually it's a Commonwealth house because it was built in 1650, the design of gardens at that time was still sort of late Tudor and Jacobean. And the idea is that it is a Celtic knot, and it is a true knot because it is one continuous tree.
There's no ending to it.
There's no ending to it.
Well, I get the feeling this is only the start of what's to come, so let's go and have a look at some more.
Let's go.
Now, this feels like a very natural area.
Well, this, when I moved here, was a very dilapidated woodland with, you know, massive numbers of weed trees, lots of dead elm, which we cleared and planted with some wonderful trees. We've got 2 ginkgos in here.
Ancient tree.
It's been around since the dinosaurs.
It has.
Hasn't been here quite so long.
Of course, oaks, very important to you here as well.
Yes, we have 18 English oaks along this woodland, but we're very concerned about the oaks because of oak processionary moth, which was brought in with imported trees from the Mediterranean in 2005.
It's a real problem, isn't it? And actually bringing home that really important message to people to not put things in their suitcases and bring them back.
Absolutely.
Which I think everybody needs to really think about.
Well, I think we've got much better at having plant passports, but we didn't 20 years ago. And the oak processionary moth, which is vociferous, and it basically eats all the leaves on the trees.
And that's little hairy caterpillars, isn't it?
Yeah, they're actually very poisonous as well, so they're quite a problem.
So I guess the key is source responsibly.
Absolutely. And now with plant passports, when you go to the garden centre, you'll know you're buying something that's safe.
Now, I see a lot of water here, so this is vital, isn't it, to your biodiverse garden?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when the family was still living here, they wanted a swimming pool. They're not getting a swimming pool, they got a swim pond, which is fantastic. And with the duck, just demonstrating that, you know, wildlife do love this area. And we have lots of moorhens here. And then, of course, the mayflies, the frogs, the newts. Yes. Incredible support for life that is very important. And, of course, they also help eat all the bad things.
Yes,
like the slugs and the snails that eat all our hostas and dahlias. Yeah. So they're very important. You know, nature is all about balance. And you need to provide all the elements in order that you have that balance, and then everything works.
Yes.
You can be organic. You don't need to spray chemicals because all the good stuff eats all the bad stuff.
And have you always thought like this? Because it's fashionable now, but it wasn't always the case.
I've always thought like this because when I came here 25 years ago, I was determined that we would be completely organic, that we would never use pesticides, that we would plant not only for desire, but also for pollinators.
Here undercover in your greenhouse, you've got quite a collection of plants that need protecting, haven't you?
Absolutely. We have our citrus in here to protect it over the winter.
The scent is glorious.
And when the vents are open, the bees are in here, particularly the bumblebees. I see a lot of bumblebees in here. And I always worry about them, but of course they always manage to escape. And also we have our pelargonium cuttings. We particularly love attar of roses because the scent off the leaves is stunning.
Now, Alan loves his pelargoniums.
I know, I'm not on quite Alan's scale, but
you're doing so well. And the great thing about them is they can be grown on people's windowsills, can't they?
Oh, absolutely, yes. And they're lovely, and they go into our pots when the the tulips have finished, so we've got the sort of summer collection going in. So we're coming up to the fountain garden, which is another of our garden rooms. The whole concept here was that in 2004, I created a garden where I could go mad with colour. So this is all hot colours. And we have bright red and orange and purple tulips in here, and then the colours just carry on. And this is where we put quite a lot of our very hot colour dahlias as well.
A lot of things are very well pruned here, and that's important, isn't it, to give that shape?
Yes, it's important on a number of levels. It's about plant management and plant health. I mean, we're very strict about the roses. We have 175 roses on this site. And as we don't spray, we want to create a prune to our roses that gives a big goblet shape and lots of airflow. And that has a dramatic effect on the reduction of mildew and black spot and other fungal diseases.
So have you pruned all the roses, or are there any left that need doing?
Not yet. We've still got a few more to do. In fact, there is one in this garden. So are you up for a bit of rose pruning?
I am, if you are.
Fantastic.
So this is a fine specimen of a rose, but it does need lowering a bit, doesn't it? So what do you think about when you're pruning your roses?
OK, so I'm thinking about things that are growing inwards because we're trying to achieve an open goblet
So
shape.
something like this.
So this I would cut right back to there. I always try and cut to an outward-facing bud because then you're encouraging the growth to grow outwards. You don't want growth going inwards.
No.
Obviously, you would prune back, dead growth like this and this.
So dead, diseased, dying.
Dead and
3Ds.
diseased. And I would actually take that off altogether because it's growing in the wrong direction.
Now, some people would say this is quite harsh because, there's a lot of growth going here, but actually it invigorates them,
It's
doesn't it?
not harsh at all because they will put on massive amount of growth in the next month or so.
Now, I need a pair of secateurs to be able to help you here.
I have a pair.
I'm glad you have some
I've
there.
always got a
Lovely.
spare.
Thank
Okay.
you. Perfect.
So you're looking for an outward growing bud.
I'm going to go with this one. And I'm going to slant it that way so that it slopes away from the bud.
Yes, because then you want the water to run off the bud. I think the important thing to remember with any pruning is that you can't put it back. So there's nothing wrong with going slow and steady, look back at the plant, and then if you need to take a bit more, you can take it.
And is your work ever done?
No. No. We work 365 days of the year.
You wouldn't have it any other way?
I wouldn't have it any other way, no.